They discovered something unexpected about you, and their love shifted completely. They truly did not expect this. They believed they had already felt everything love could offer. They thought their heart was settled, guarded, and no longer easily moved. They believed they were past surprises, past deep emotional shifts, past moments that could shake them to their core. But then you appeared in their life, and without warning, something inside them began to open again. At first, they did not understand what was happening. It did not feel logical. It did not fit into the plans they had already made for themselves. They were not searching for this, they were not asking for this, and yet your presence quietly reached places in their heart they thought were closed forever. You awakened emotions they had buried. You revived hope they had pushed aside. You touched the part of their heart that had grown tired of disappointments and taught them that love could still be real. What makes this so powerful is that you did not force anything, you did not chase them, you did not try to impress them, you did not need to explain yourself. You simply showed up as who you are, and that alone changed everything. At first, they thought they were drawn to something on surface level, your appearance, your energy, your voice, and your presence. They assumed it was just an attraction, something light, something temporary. But the longer they looked, the more they realized it wasn't simple. They began to notice your depth, the way you carry yourself with quiet strength, the way you remain kind even when the life has tested you, the way you move with integrity even when no one is watching. They saw your softness, but also your resilience. They saw your fire, but also your peace. They saw that you are someone who feels deeply yet remains grounded, someone who has known pain but still chooses love, and that humbled them because they realized they were not just interested in you, they were being transformed by you. You became a mirror without trying to be one. When they look at you, they see the version of themselves they were always meant to become. They see what it looks like to be strong without being harsh, to be gentle without being weak, to be confident without being loud, and to be real without pretending. Your presence reminds them of who they were before life taught them to settle. That is why they cannot stop thinking about you, because you did not just spark desire, you sparked awakening. They thought they wanted something easy, but you made them think about meaning. They thought they wanted excitement, but you made them crave peace. They thought they wanted chemistry, but you made them long for stability. They thought they wanted attention, but you made them value loyalty. Without saying a word, you raised their standards, and now everything that once chased feels smaller. That is why they seem different lately. That is why they grow quiet. That is why their mind feels crowded and their heart feels heavy. They are trying to understand what is happening inside them. You are processing emotions that have never carried before. They are asking themselves questions they never thought they would ask. These questions are: why does this feel so deep? Why does this person matter so much? Why does the thought of losing them feels unbearable? You did not just enter their life, you become a turning point. They notice how you love people without expecting anything in return. They notice how you remain graceful even when you are hurting. They notice how you don't need to be loud to be powerful. They notice how your presence feels safe, how being around you makes them want to be better, not out of pressure, but out of respect. They have been around beauty before, but this is different. This feels rare. This feels sacred. This feels real. And because of that, something inside them shifted. Old distractions don't hold the same pull. Old habits feel empty. Temptations that once had power over them now feels shallow. They are slowly walking away from things that no longer align. Not because you demanded it, but because your light exposed what no longer belongs. You did not shame them, you did not judge them, you simply existed, and that was enough to change them. They did not expect to cry over you, but they did. They did not expect to feel vulnerable, but they are. They did not expect to feel afraid, but they do now. Because when someone matters this much, the fear of losing them becomes real. They are afraid of getting it wrong, afraid of moving too fast, afraid of moving too slow, afraid of saying the wrong thing. But because they are unsure about you, but because they finally see your worth, so sometimes they pull back, sometimes they go quiet, sometimes they observe from a distance, not because they stopped caring, but because they care so deeply that they don't know how to carry it yet. They replay moments with you in their mind. They reread messages. They look at your photos longer than they admit. They zoom in on your eyes because something in your gaze feels grounding, familiar, and peaceful. And slowly, without even realizing it, they begin to imagine a future they never planned on having. A shared life, a stable love, a home, a commitment. They did not expect to think that way, but now they can't unsee it. Even if they haven't said it out loud, their heart has already whispered the truth. I did not expect this, but thank God for it, because this connection doesn't feel fake, it doesn't feel rushed, it doesn't feel temporary. It feels aligned, it feels purposeful, it feels protected, it feels bigger than emotions alone. That's why they are being undone by you, not in a weak way, but in a healing way, in a way that forces growth, in a way that doesn't allow them to remain who they were before they met you. They may be silent, but that silence is not absence. It is overwhelmed from caring this deeply, overwhelmed from realizing they have something to lose, overwhelmed from knowing that love like this changes everything. They are praying in their own way now, asking for clarity, asking for courage, asking if they are ready, asking if they are worthy of a love this pure. And if this connection is real, it will not be wasted. What is meant will unfold. What is sacred will be protected. What is real will be grown, even if it takes time, even if it requires patience, even if healing must happen first. Because this is not rest love, this is built love. So if their silence has confused you, do not assume rejection. Sometimes silence is fear, sometimes silence is depth, sometimes silence is someone learning how to hold something they have never held before. They did not expect to love you this way, but now they do. And with each passing day, it becomes clearer. This love is different, this love is deep, this love is changing them, and this is not only the beginning. They are slowly pulling away from the distractions, not because they have stopped caring, but because something inside them has shifted. The things that once entertained them are no longer satisfy them. Fake affections feels empty now. Small talks feels exhausting. Surface levels connections feel loud and meaningless. Their heart has tested something real, something deep, something pure. It has encountered your soul, and now it refuses to settle for anything less. Once the heart experiences truth, it can't go back to pretending. That's why They are not reaching out the way they used to. It's not avoidance, it's reverence. What they are feeling does not fit into casual words or quick messages. They know this is not something to play with. They know that approaching you lightly could damage something sacred. So instead of rushing forward, they are slowing down. Instead of speaking impulsively, they are becoming intentional. Instead of acting from habit, they are listening inward. Inside, they are doing deep work. They are praying not out of fear but out of confusion mixed with awe. They are fasting not to impress God but because they feel the need to quiet their spirit. They are searching scripture, trying to understand why this connection feels bigger than logic. This is not a passing feeling to them. This does not feel accidental. This feels spiritual. This feels holy. It feels personal, like something God is asking them to take seriously. They have returned to something they once ignored. They are reading the Bible again. They are listening to sermons again. They are watching messages that sounds like this one, because they are not trying to align themselves. They not just for you, but because meeting you awakened something dormant inside them. Your presence did not just attract them, it exposed them. It reveals places in their heart that were closed. It reveals areas where they were living smaller and they were called to live. It revealed fear that did not realize was still controlling them. They did not expect this reaction. They did not expect to feel calm just thinking about you. They did not expect your name to bring peace. They did not expect your voice to feel grounding. They did not expect to feel safe in a way they hadn't felt before, but now they do, and that safety is unfamiliar. They did not yet know how to hold it without trembling. They are realizing that being near you means being seen, being honest, being real. And that's scary for someone who learned to survive by guarding their heart. Your presence melts defenses without trying. You did not force openness, and you don't demand vulnerability. You simply are you, and that alone breaks walls. Pride softens, fear loosens, old patterns lose their grip. That's why they hesitate, not because they don't feel deeply, but because they feel too deeply. They are afraid to come too soon, afraid to say the wrong things, afraid to damage something they value more than they know how to protect. They may appear quiet, but inside they are loud with emotions. They may seem distant, but internally they are wrestling with truth. And the truth is simple. Even if it's overwhelming, they are in love. They are in love with what you carry, not just how you look. They are in love with how you speak with intention. They are in love with how you pray with sincerity. They are in love with how you believe even when things are hard. They are in love with your depth, your discipline, your faith, your steadiness. You are not like the rest. You never were. And now they finally understand why. They watch you quietly. They notice how you move through life, how you remain grounded, how you stay gentle without being weak. And every time they observe you, something in them shifts deeper. They replay your words in their mind, they revisit moments you thought were small. They remember how you made them feel without even trying. They imagine what it would be like to hold your hand, not just physically but emotionally, to walk beside you in life. They are being changed by love in a way they did not expect, not by pressure, not by persuasion, not by pursuit, but by presence. Your calm is undoing chaos in them. Your peace is challenging their fear. Your consistency is healing instability they lied with for years. Slowly, they are becoming softer, braver, more honest. That's why old connections are fading. That's why former distractions no longer hold their attention. That's why conversation that once mattered now feels shallow. When the heart encounters truth, everything false becomes unbearable. You have become their rest in a noisy world, their pause, their grounding point. They may never have said this out loud, but you have become their safe place. The person they return to in their thoughts, the name they whisper in the prayers, the presence they imagine when life feels overwhelming. You feel like home to them, and once you know what home feels like, everywhere else feels temporary. They did not expect to care this much. They did not expect to grow because of someone else. They did not expect to start questioning their life choices, but now they are asking themselves deeper questions, not because they feel pressured, but because they feel inspired. What kind of person do I want to become? What kind of partner do I want to be? What kind of future do I want to build? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? And every time they ask, your presence appears in their answers, not as an obsession, but as clarity. You represent a life that feels aligned, a love that feels clean, a future that feels purposeful. You are no longer just someone they want, you are the reason they want more. This is why it feels cheaper than romance. This is why this feels orchestrated. This feels intentional. Meeting you doesn't feel random anymore. It feels allowed. It feels guided. It feels written. Now they are preparing, not impulsively, but carefully, not emotionally, but prayerfully. They are thinking about how to approach you with honesty, how to speak without confusion, how to honor what they feel without rushing it. They want to come to you whole, not fragmented, clear, not conflicted. They are being led quietly through peace that won't leave them alone, through scriptures that suddenly feels personal, through dreams, through moments where your name appears without effort. They walk through ordinary places and think of you. They hear songs and feels your presence. They read words and feel conviction. This is not imagination. This is awareness awakening. So when they come, it may feel sudden to you, like it appeared out of nowhere, but it won't be sudden to them. It will be the result of long internal process where they were shedding fear, releasing the past, and learning how to choose courage. They don't want to come half-hearted. They want to come correctly. They want to honor you. They want to honor what God placed within you. They want to do this in a way that reflects growth, not confusion. When they show up, it will feel different. There will be intention in their words, peace in their presence, clarity in their action. You won't need to chase understanding. You won't need to ask for proofs. You will feel the confirmation without efforts. They will finally speak what they have been holding back. They will finally admit how deeply they were affected. They may share how long this process took them, how much fear they had to unlearn, how much healing they had to do. And in that moment, everything will make sense. The silence, the waiting, the confusion, the prayers, the tears, everything. None of it was wasted because this love was never late, it was never denied, it was never overlooked. It was simply becoming real at the right time.